It's October. Welcome to another episode of Under the Radar, Over the Moon. Anyone want to howl?
Woo! That was a howl.
The first book I'm going to talk about today is Runaway, Midwife by Patricia Harman. She writes the Hope River series that have been New York Times best-selling books. This book is about a woman who has to recreate her life, start over again, start anew. She finds out that her best friend has killed herself, that her husband has been cheating on her. This woman is a midwife, and she decides she's going to leave her life behind her. So she gets on her snowmobile without a passport, crosses the boundary into Ontario, and starts her life anew. New name, new identification, new job. And life seems to be going along pretty well for her. She practices midwifery on the side. She also presents herself as a writer, and she's welcomed into the community. She even starts to fall for someone there. Her past catches up with her, and she has to reconcile with, can she start anew? Can she go back to the life that she had? It's a wonderful book. She's a terrific writer.
Okay, I'll go next. I'm going to talk about A Simple Favor by Darcey Bell. This is a debut novel that follows a single mom. She is one of those mommy bloggers that have, gone all over the place these days. And it starts when her best friend asks her a simple favor if she will pick the friend's son up from school. Their two children go to school together. And she's like, sure, fine, that's fine. But the kick is she never comes to pick up her son, and she basically goes missing. And so you go through the mystery of where she has gone and kind of the fallout of that disappearance. She left her husband behind, she left her child behind. We don't know what's happened to her. And it's just a really great, twisty domestic thriller that keeps you guessing who's manipulating whom between these two, turns out, terrifying moms who will do anything to protect their children. It's already gotten really great blurbs from best-selling authors like Plum Sykes, Margot Livesey, and Kimberly McCreight. And anyone looking for their next chilling read in the vein of Gone Girl or Girl on the Train, this is really right up your alley, so I hope you'll check it out.
Whoa.
I will be talking to you about Dragon Springs Road by Janie Chang. You'll know her from Three Souls. This is a really wonderful historical novel set in early 1900s, Shanghai, China, and follows a young orphan. Mother abandoned her at a young age. She's half Asian, half European, and she's a social outcast from the start. But young Jialing, which is her name, is a wonderful character. She's smart and observant, but self-doubting at the same time. And you follow her as she grows up. She works as a servant girl for an affluent family. The fantastical elements, she has a friend Fox, which is a spiritual deity that guides her both through past and present. And it's just magical and historically rich. She sets out to find her mother and also find her place in the society. Again, the historical details are just so illuminating and absorbing, and she's just a character you'll be cheering for through the very end. You won't be able to put it down until you know what happens with young Jialing.
The next book I'd like to talk about, whoa, sorry, I just got ghosted, is Her Every Fear by Peter Swanson. Peter Swanson is the author of The Kind Worth Killing and The Girl with a Clock for a Heart. Both of those books were bestsellers. Both are being made into films. He's a terrific writer, and his new book is very Hitchcockian in a way, very Rear Window. It's about these two cousins who've never met each other. They're first cousins. One lives in London, one lives in Boston, and circumstances in their life have brought them to this place where they are going to switch apartments and each live in the other one's apartment for a stretch of time. And so you meet Kate, who comes from London and moves to Boston, and we know right away that she is a very fragile person who's been through something, a devastating breakup actually. And as soon as she lands in the apartment building, she knows that there's something has happened in this apartment building, and one of the tenants has been killed. And so it really sets off the tension for the story from her point of view, and not it doesn't take long until the police want to question her cousin, who has hightailed it to London very quickly. So that's the setup of the book. It's so good. It is very, very, as I say, very Rear Window, very, very voyeuristic. They're great characters, really well hashed out. He's a terrific writer. If you liked S.J. Watson's Before I Go to Sleep, which was a terrific book, and that is the first book I thought of when I started reading this one, you will love this book. It is just so good. Who is next in this crazy cauldron of love?
I'll go next. My second book that I'm going to talk about today is Shining City by Tom Rosenstiel. This is a debut political thriller set in Washington, D.C. about this team of fixers, and they basically, their job is to solve any problems, make these problems go away. They are hired by the president to vet his chosen candidate for a Supreme Court seat that just opened up. And if you've ever seen the TV show Scandal, you'll kind of know what I'm talking about. It's so in-depth. There are so many different power players making their moves left and right. While that's happening, there's this string of murders happening across the country that are somehow connected to the candidate that they are trying to vet. So this author is a longtime journalist. He covered politics for the Los Angeles Times and Newsweek, and so he really knows what he's talking about. He uses all of his his experience with the political maneuvering to really inform this book. And really, so many writers are already going crazy about it. There's Alistair Burke, Chris Holm, Michael Harvey, and Matthew Quirk have all given great blurbs for this already. This will be really great for anyone craving a in-depth political thriller, or any readers of Michael Connelly or Daniel Silva, that kind of really high intellectual thriller. Also, any watchers of Scandal, like I said, or House of Cards, or The Good Wife, that kind of feel. It's so smart, so action-packed, and a very impressive debut. I hope you check it out.
I will be talking to you about The Fire by Night by Teresa Messineo. This is a historical World War II novel that sheds a light on some unsung heroes of the war, that is, the war nurses. Specifically, two friends, half a world apart. One is on the front lines in France in dire conditions. Almost everyone has either evaded, left, or died, but she is holding together this group of severely injured soldiers. She is the only medical personnel on the ground. And then her friend is in a prisoner camp in Manila under, again, just completely awful conditions, and she, again, is serving as the lifeline for everyone around them. The horrors of war are very detailed and specified here and terrifying, but the humanity and the courage that these two women show, they're not unaffected, they're not perfect, but they keep on going and they keep on living. And as you watch them develop during the war and after, it's just an incredible depiction of what war can do to a person and how people can work to survive and persevere. So this goes on sale in January, so you can give it a read. November 20th is the deadline for library reads. That's The Fire by Night by Teresa Messineo.
That was great.
Yay!
I would clap, but I don't have any hands.
So there you are. There are offerings for the month of October. They're haunting. They'll stay with you forever. And they're books that we're pretty nutty about. So we hope you like them too. Have a lovely October. Have a wonderful and safe Halloween. And maybe we'll see you on our broomstick someday.
Ow!